y'all, this is SimmerDownSouth and welcome to my very first official speed build. This is the house for the Black Widow challenge that I'm currently doing on my channel. And I've been planning this for a little while, and it turns out that execution is much more difficult than what you think it is. So my big thing with builds is I love symmetry and stuff like that, so I often find myself having a difficult time getting things just the way I want while maintaining the symmetry and the aesthetic of the house and maintain functionality. So that's something I always struggle with. But I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. And the other thing I like is I like really open floor plans that are conducive to entertaining and the flow of the house. So that's something else that I like to try to consider when doing a build. So as you can see, I've got kind of a boxy start to the house, and I'm starting to fill things in as I go. I don't know how people frame out a house and then start filling it in unless they've like planned everything out and start over. I have no idea, but I have to furnish as I go to make sure everything fits just the way I want it to. But another thing I like to have is I like to have like a bunch of windowed space in, I guess you could call it the great room or the living room. And I use that as a place for entertaining, and later on you'll see what I do with that. I change things up a lot as I go, as the house kind of morphs into what I want it to be. But with the challenge, since there is a dinner party associated with it, I really wanted something where a bunch of people could come over. There's a bar, an entertainer. It could really have a banging party and really have a good time and get just an open, fun feel to the thing. And as I did put down some custom content rugs, those go away. I do end up deleting all of my custom content, so I could put this on the gallery without any kind of issue. And it's probably about time I did that anyway. As some of y'all know, I've been having issues with the custom content, and this is the little impetus I needed to finally get rid of it all. And let's see, here we go. We're going to start filling in the dining room. And this changes a little bit. I'll put in another custom content rung that gets replaced later on. And then another, dude, I don't know if you're anything like me, but I struggle with the windows in this game for some reason. And it's a constant battle for me. And I'm also a big fan of front porch entryways. It's probably because I'm from the South, and we seem to all have front porches, but that is a thing that I put on almost every single house. So, and I also love the cupcake machine. I'm obsessed with it. So we put that in, as well as a kind of traditional little bath. And something else that you'll notice is I have gotten in the habit of kind of isolating my toilets in the bathrooms just to kind of get down on that embarrassment factor. And sometimes it works really well because then multiple people can use the bathroom without risking someone dying, because that's never a good thing unless it's a challenge like this, or it's completely intentional, and then you just send them on in there. But I'm not that evil. But there probably will be a dying from embarrassment coming sometime along in the challenge. So something about this house is I did want it to have a bunch of room. I didn't end up with as much yard as I had hoped, but I do like what I did with the space that I had. So I hope you will enjoy that when it comes along. And also, this is going to be released in 2 parts. This build ended up taking forever, so there will be a second part coming up right after this one. And this is the study. I am a huge fan of having separate studies, complete with fish tanks now that we have them, little aquariums. It seems soothing. If I had a legit office, I would totally put a fish tank in mine. My office is, in real life, is a desk, a bunch of storage, the dog crate, shelves that my skis and snowboards go on, and it's just a total mishmash of all the junk that we have in the house. And we've got our main entry there with the staircase. And you're going to see me waffle about 30 times with the wall decor and the color of the doors and the archways and the wall coverings. It's a struggle that I have. Hashtag the struggle is real. One thing that I did really want in this was a diagonally placed fireplace, which I do end up pulling off. But the bedroom doesn't turn out exactly how I'd hoped. But I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. The sketch that I had for the house and the finished product vary a good bit, but I honestly like the way the build turned out better. It's more functional. I really wanted to put a closet in there for Charlotte to woohoo in, but they just weren't having it with a diagonal placement. I end up giving up that idea after a bit. It's kind of funny going back and watching this and seeing how I debate how to do things. It's pretty funny. And the bedroom keeps shrinking and shrinking until it turns into something completely different. This is really funny to me. I haven't actually gone through and watched the entire thing, so this is really funny. And here we are adding in the sitting area around the fireplace. And I'm really happy with how this area turned out. Sizing up the TV because why not? Again, I end up using a custom content rug that gets replaced. Although it's a shame we don't have rugs as detailed like that in the EA content. So EA, get on that. I need my Oriental rugs. And here we go with the master bedroom. I end up going with a red theme with it, which I think suits the Black Widow and the spirit of the challenge. And I'm framing out the master bath there, which is an odd shape, but I think it works. It's strange. 9 times out of 10, my rooms end up being just rectangular blobs. So I played around with the shape a little bit more than usual. Have some countertops placed on a diagonal there, which I think also works nicely. Kind of turn it into a vanity area. I'm going to throw some mirrors up on the wall. And that ends up turning pretty good. Got a double vanity with the fancy mirrors. Get some windows up in this joint. Let some of that natural light in since it's summer 24/7 in The Sims right now. We need seasons. We need seasons. I need some thunderstorms in my life. And all the carpeting ends up getting replaced later. It's custom content carpeting right now, which looks lovely, but I don't want people to struggle and having to replace a bunch of stuff, downloading it from the gallery. So instead of pointing everybody in the direction of custom content, I just end up getting rid of all that. That closet also goes away, but I do stick with the red, and a fireplace goes in the master bedroom, which I love. Seems cozy. Whenever I move into a nice fancy house, I'm going to have a fireplace in there. I swear it. One of these days it's going to happen. And the ottomans are a favorite of mine. I would put them everywhere if I could. And we also could stand to have a little bit more, I don't know, less traditional ceilings. It seems like it's either ultra modern or super traditional. So like some middle of the road options in the future. Hopefully that'll be on its way with future packs. And redoing the wall coverings, which is just, like I said, a constant struggle. And there we go, brighten up the place a little bit. That's a little too bright. Yikes. Yeah, that's too bright. I don't know why some of those lights, just like the lumen count's out of this world. Got some nice little wall sconces going in there. And that is also custom content, wall tiling, so that gets replaced in the second part. So is this. It's nice, but I don't know. It just doesn't seem to match. It's like almost too detailed, if you know what I mean. And the first floor is coming along pretty nicely. And we are going to start working on the second floor soon, get that framed out. But first we're going to add wall coverings to the outside, make it actually start looking like a real house. And I do like to mix up 2 or 3 different kinds of wall coverings on the exterior. I feel like it gives it a more polished look. So here we are starting on the second floor of the build, and it ends up going through some modifications along the way as well, mainly due to roofing issues. I swear. The roof. I don't know if you guys have struggled with this, but if you butt up a roof to an inside wall, it will take on that wall covering that you choose, and I hate that. I don't know why it does that. I feel like it should be separate, but it does, and so I'm constantly having to frame out little sections of room so it will have its own wall covering. And we're going to fiddle with the roof some. We're going to fiddle around the roof a little bit and get everything squared away there. Kind of getting that farmhouse feel, which I end up scrapping. This is not a farmhouse, but I end up being pretty pleased with the finished look, and I do like those little roof ornaments, the little, I don't know what you would even call those, but this seems to fit better. They're a little bigger, having the walls built in, and I prefer it. And then you can give it its own wall covering and have it look a little bit more natural. And the backs of my houses end up being so plain sometimes. I don't know. I need to work on that. I've seen some builds where the back side of the houses look just as good as the front, and I'm envious. I'm so envious. And the framing out of these rooms going in upstairs, that gets played with as well. It's a constant thing. It's a work in progress, right? That's what it is. And we end up putting 4 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms upstairs, as well as a playroom for the kids that she has, and do like the open entry to the open upstairs down to the foyer, however you want to pronounce it. That is also something that I enjoy in a home. Makes it feel a little bit more grand, if you know what I mean. So here we are working on the boys' room. I kind of intended this to be Orion's room. He is the first child out of the challenge. He is still an infant, so there is time. But the room ends up having a lot of personality, I think, especially for being a boys' room. And I think Orion's really going to like it. And I know it's blue, which is whatever, but girls' rooms can be blue too. My daughter wants a blue room, so she's going to get it. I love that she is non-traditional. She's all about blue. It's great. And I'm going to add some posters, kind of dress up the place a little bit. And it seems to be a really nice room. I'm really happy with how that turned out. And this, we're going to end up clearing that out, trying to fix the roof a little bit, because like I said, it takes on the color of the wall covering you choose for the roof, and it drives me batty, just batty. So we're going to play around with that a little bit, and I'm going to end up framing out that back corner there, because it does not cooperate. And this is going to be a girl's room, and it does end up being pink, so sue me. But it's got a little flair of its own, nice little corner desk, or desk kind of in an alcove, and a closet, and bookcase and stuff, which turns out pretty nice. Yeah, see, I have to frame that out so it doesn't get all crazy. And got a desk with a computer, and we're going to put a little sitting area in there so she can read books, assuming that my Black Widow ever has a daughter. So if she doesn't, we'll just have to change it up, which is fine. And there's a little chair, get a little side table and a lamp. which is really cute. Another custom content rug that goes away later on. Back to screwing around with that damn roof. I cannot get it right. But it gets there. It gets there eventually, so be patient. It ends up working out in the end. And what else do we get? Okay, we're changing the roof color. I'm kind of ADD when it comes to my builds. I bounce from one thing to the next, which I need to, if I'm going to continue to do these builds, I need to streamline it. And I don't know how y'all do the framing out and then furnishing. I do not know. If you got any tips, please let me know. And we've got a bathroom going in upstairs, and the windows just do not want to work. But I like putting little partitions in there. End up doing the move objects sheet to get that column in there just the way I want it. And hopefully it works out. I'm going to have to play test it a little bit before I upload it to the gallery. Hopefully nothing major. With the improved routing in the game, I've had very, very little issues with how I build and Sims gaining access to what they need. And then there's that pesky little roof bit up at the top that needs to get squared away. So I'm going to end up dealing with that in just a minute and get that going. I hate it. I want it to go away. Get some lights in there. All right, this is where I start screwing around with that pesky roof bit. See, look at that. It's gone, and then I try to get it to go away, and it just won't go. All right, well, that's pretty much going to conclude this part of the build. So stay tuned for part 2, where we finish decorating the second floor and get to working on the landscaping, which turns out just amazing thanks to the romantic garden stuff pack. So I hope you like this part and stay tuned for the next one.